Hi, I'm Brooke.
I'm Hope.
And I'm Megan.
And this is the Bookish and Bubbly podcast.
Ladies,
Settle in.
yeah, it's time to go. And we have Megan here tonight. We haven't announced her, but she's here.
Oh,
Hello.
Okay, so here we are today to start a new series, the Fourth Wing series.
also, do we know how many books she has planned?
Yes.
We do.
I think I heard 5,
Okay.
Whoa.
which is, yes.
She needs to crank these out more than one a year. Sorry. Rebecca, do it.
Well, we're going to have a lot to talk about this after the second book.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
We'll have to shelve some things.
But it's going to be a wild ride.
Guys, this book rocked my
Yeah.
socks off.
Should we first say, like, what we rated it?
5 stars.
It's a 5 for me.
I'm going to have to go with the 5.
Guys, I think it's a resounding 5 stars from
Which,
the group.
this was amazing too because
I know.
Megan started reading it
Without telling us.
unprompted.
Well-
We told her you need to do it, but we didn't actually have the gun to her head yet.
I didn't think she was going to.
Unprompted, but I was forced.
And she was like, I'm really into the book already. And then we had to catch up.
Yeah.
And I was the last to finish.
Wow. That's the craziest.
That'll never
What is
happen
happening?
again.
No.
So what do you have to say about it, Megan?
Okay, I've never read anything like this before. Like, I don't know, what category?
Fantasy.
Dragon.
It's in the dragon genre.
And I didn't think I would like it, but I did really enjoy it, and I couldn't put it down. I listened to
Yes.
it and read it.
Yes.
I probably listened to the majority of it.
I love doing that because you can take it with you all the time.
Yes.
And there's
Yeah.
sometimes you don't want to be listening and you want to just sit and read.
Exactly.
But if you only have the audiobook, sometimes that's a bummer. So I love doing that. And you can just take it with you. If you're reading, you can get up and do the dishes, but I got it in my ears.
They were both free, too, so,
Yes. Amen. Amen.
I was up until 1:30 a.m. one night reading it. I read it in 4 days.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, Megan.
Read/listen, but
That's still crazy. Okay, Megan has a full-time job and 2 children.
well, the only way I was able to do this is because I wasn't at work.
Oh,
Like, it's going
work
to
from
take me a
home.
minute to get through Iron Flame.
That's
Can't
bad
take
'cause
you too long.
Yeah, we're recording
Well, that's
next
why
week.
I already started.
Okay.
That's true. You're
Chapter
already
10.
on chapter 10, baby.
Don't say nothing.
Yeah,
won't.
I'm the only one that hasn't read any of Iron Flame
Yeah.
in this group.
In this wing. Whatever, I don't know.
In this wing. Okay.
Brooke, kind of set the scene for us.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, this book, if you're listening and you haven't read it, first of all, don't listen to this episode, but listen to this next part. Martha, I'm talking to you. Specifically Martha. And Liv. You two, I know, will just listen. Don't do it this time. But except listen to this next little bit.
Have they not read it?
I gave it to Liv, 2 days ago. And I told her she has to read it soon. And
Yes.
because this is coming out. Also, I found out, I got so excited. Okay, side note, I texted Hope and I said, Hope, we got the most listens we've ever got on December 23rd. We got 73 listens in a day.
That's amazing.
And then I went through and I was going through each episode, and each episode was played that day. And I was like, somebody found our podcast and just streamed the shit out of us. I asked Liv while she was here, and she goes, yeah, that was me. How did you know that?
Oh my gosh.
She was wrapping presents that day, and she wanted something to listen to.
Which is so nice.
That's so cute. It's so
That's
cute.
hilarious.
Liv might be the number 1 fan of the show.
Probably.
Might be.
Shout out.
Love her.
I re-listen to them.
Me too.
In the car, I'll put one on and I laugh all over again. And I'm
that's
like, wow,
fun.
we're really
Aw.
funny.
Well, it's fun to be, recording basically conversations with friends
Yeah.
and listening back to
You
them.
know, it'd be really funny if one day our grandkids listen to this.
Yeah,
That'd be funny.
that would be funny. I think about that.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll be, or my kids, Mom!
You're so uncool.
And I said,
When I miss you guys, I listen to it. 'Cause then I feel like we're hanging out.
Stop.
oh, I
We can hang
love
out every
that.
day.
Yeah. So finish Iron Flame so we can all record that one too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I
then
will try my hardest.
And
So
pre-order
Onyx
Onyx Storm.
So are you going to have to buy that one then?
I would think so.
Okay.
Acting like she's poor over here.
I feel like
$14 book.
I bet it's more than $10.
I'm 14% of the way through Iron Flame. Can I do it?
Yes. Do you have the audiobook too?
Yeah. I've only listened to it so
you have
far.
like 50-minute drives every day.
Yeah.
You'll be
You're gonna be
fine. We'll do it like later in the week next week.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. First of all. Okay, wait, Martha and Liv, are you still with us? If you like Divergent, Hunger Games, maybe a little Harry Potter, ACOTAR, you will like this book.
You will love this book.
You will love this book. I feel like it's very Divergent-y and a little Hunger Games-y. Like Divergent, it reminded me of Divergent a ton.
I don't remember Divergent, but when I was explaining the book to Dakota, I said, just think Hunger Games, but
Yeah. Well, it's very
instead
Hunger
of,
Games-y too, yeah.
yeah, it's just,
Well, like, because Divergent, they have the different factions, and she goes with, like, the most scary faction. And she has to, like, be inducted into it and all this stuff. And it feels very, like, high stakes. This is way more high stakes than Divergent. But anyways, okay, now don't listen from here on out if you haven't read the book. Go right now, go get the book and read it. Thank you for your time. Now, what was I going to do?
set the scene.
We are in Navarre.
Uh-huh.
Okay, first of all, the pronunciations are not going to be correct, just across the board. I did end up listening to it again. The people on that audiobook, though, a couple times said different ways. So
Really?
that was kind of confusing. But, so we're in a different land, Navarre. We're going to be at, how do you say the name of the college?
Basgiath.
So they said it different every time. Not
don't think
helpful.
so. Basgiath?
In the one that I listened to. I listened to the graphic audio.
Oh, okay.
Basgiath War College. And in the college, we're starting out on conscription day. And it is the day that all of these women and men, like, I don't even know what age. It doesn't matter. They're all going to choose a section that they're going to be in. What are those called? A quarter?
Quadrant. Quadrant.
Yes, they're going to choose their quadrant. We've got the scribes.
Hang on,
Riders.
I got the map.
Yes. Healers. And infantry.
Oh, wow. You guys are
So,
good.
the riders are the best of the best.
The cool kids.
The cool kids, and people, like, train their entire lives to be riders.
Because they are dragon.
They're dragon riders. Yes. And also, yes. So this is the war college. So this is, like, specifically to help, like, protect all of Navarre. So yes, best of the best. We find out that Violet is the general's daughter, and she has been forced to become a rider. She was going to be a scribe. Her whole life, she was going to be a scribe.
She's a book nerd.
She's a book nerd. 6 months prior. And she had been studying for, like, the test to be in the scribe quadrant.
Right.
And then 6 months prior, her mom goes, hey, by the way, you're going to be a writer. Tough nuts, lady. So then for the past 6 months, she's been training. But she has, like, a really weak body.
Yeah.
Like, her joints don't work. Her bones are snapping left and right.
She's small.
She's very small. Yeah, and her bones are always subluxating. Everything. That said that word so many times. They're always getting dislocated, like, constantly. She mentions multiple times, like, something that would give someone a bruise would, like, break her leg.
Yeah.
So, there's the scene. And everyone's mad at the mom, and everyone's trying to get Violet to just, like, sneak into the scribe quadrant because she's gonna die. Because this is the most ruthless induction into anything that has ever happened. The Twain's coming. Okay, so we start off strong with the parapet.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Did you say parapet?
That's how they said it on there.
Man,
What did you hear?
Yeah, what was yours?
it's a parapet. I mean, that's a real word.
Really?
A parapet?
Never heard of that in my life. Have you?
I
Like on
don't
a
think
building,
so.
it's like the
Parapet?
parapet.
Parapet.
Okay.
The parapet. My I saying it wrong?
No.
Parapet. It's like an E and an I. Parapet.
Parapet. Yeah, just the parapet. So she's going on the parapet. I don't know how to say it. And you have to walk across it, and it's like really, it's a long way, and it's only like 18 inches.
Yeah.
And it's really windy and rainy this day. And
she's not prepared.
She's not prepared. Yeah, her sister does come in and kind of save her ass.
Yeah.
Did you swallow your cough drop?
I don't know. No. I don't know. So first of all, her shoes are too slippery, so she gives her nice shoes.
Yeah.
This thing, though, the vest made of dragon scales.
Yes.
That keeps her safe like the whole book.
Right.
And she gives her a bunch of knives and stuff, and she helps her repack her bag, so it's not... She couldn't even walk up the stairs.
Yeah.
And
she gave her a whole new outfit, too, because she had a long, flowy tunic on.
Yes,
that would have blown her right off.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, she is smart. I don't think she would have done that.
But
She's
she
really
wasn't.
smart. She didn't.
She
do that.
wasn't
kinda
prepared
prepared.
for
Yeah.
it.
She put her hair in a braid.
And it said
Yes.
that was like the scribe's uniform. Like,
Yeah.
that she was in scribe clothing.
She was. Yes. The big bag though, when she couldn't even walk up the stairs. I was
She
like,
had books.
Girly pop. Get rid of those books. Yeah. Anyways, she's on there. She makes a couple friends. One dies immediately.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, we're going. Okay.
Yeah.
They just fall off.
Ruthless.
End of the first chapter, he dies. I was like, okay, I see. And it's a big deal. Her sister, she says, avoid Xaden Ryerson at all costs.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. And we find out that Xaden Ryerson is the son of Fen Ryerson, who started a big rebellion and what we all believe is that he was kind of trying to like...
Basically,
He was going
the
against
rebels.
Navarre.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't even know if it's
basically,
explained.
the point of them hating each other was because their parents hated each other and caused
Yeah. Well,
the death of
his dad killed
And
her
Brennan.
brother,
Yeah.
and her mom killed his dad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have a reason to hate each other off the
Yes.
get-go.
Yeah.
But then who else does Violet run into? Dane Atos.
Oh yeah. Well, she's safe.
After the parapet?
Yeah.
Yes.
She runs into him after.
But yeah, she gets across.
Me bad.
Because he's
Almost
like,
dies.
what are you doing here?
Yeah, almost dies though. That was crazy though.
Yeah.
And people are just flying off, and then Jack just
Yes.
throws a child off. Well, not a child, but a little
You're
boy.
just allowed,
Yeah.
and as you're getting ready and going through the test,
Yes.
you're just allowed to kill people, too.
Yes.
Even, like, the teachers are allowed to kill people.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
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 So it's like you're going to die, probably.
But there's a lot of rules.
There's the codex. There's so many rules, specific rules, but at this stage, cadets can kill each other, right? But then once they're past the first year, are they allowed?
It was hard to follow the rules as far as like, okay, if they have the rebellion relic and they're in groups of 3, like
Yeah.
those different things were kind of hard to keep track of.
Yeah.
I think we should explain the rebellion relic, because
Yeah.
Xaden is kind of like the main kid
He's like
of
the
the
face of
rebellion
the
relic.
rebellion at this
So
point.
all of the people who rebelled with his parents, all the parents were executed
In front of their children.
in front of their children, and the children were marked with a rebellion relic or like a tattoo.
Hot tattoos.
Yes, that basically just shows everyone they were a part of this, so like everyone knows, like, don't really trust them.
yeah.
And they all were forced to go into the writer's quadrant. So there's a lot of tension between him and Violet because their
For sure.
families hated each other so much.
Well, and she believes that he will kill her. Dane also
Yeah.
talks about this. Dane is her childhood friend who is now a second year, but he's also now like a squad leader, which that was another thing. Very confusing. But I almost started Iron Flame the other day, and then I was like, no, Brooke, don't do this. I was like,
Yeah.
I have to know what's going to happen next. But
Yeah.
I didn't. But I went to the first page, and it showed visually.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what.
It was very helpful. And I was like, okay. Because there was like squad leaders, section leaders, wing leaders.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's too many people. I'm sorry. That was I think one of my only complaints for this book. We had so many names. And
We
I
did.
could not keep track of everybody.
Yeah.
like,
and
at
even
all.
Violet said, like, there would be times somebody would die and she'd
She
be
didn't
like,
even
I
know.
can't remember his name,
Yeah.
but he was in this class.
Yeah. But I was frustrated when she would just, like, she, being Rebecca, would write in a name and, like, describe the person and then, like, bring them up later. But they only were mentioned once before and we were supposed to, like, remember
get that.
That's the
Yeah.
only thing. I was like, I can't remember this person.
Yeah. So she makes it over and then she sees Dane and he's like, what are you doing? We have to get you into the scribe quadrant. And she's like, no, because my mom's going to put me back here anyway.
Yes.
So he puts her and her friend Rhiannon in his group to try and, like, quote unquote protect her.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're getting their, like, when he's getting his boss, what would the next be?
Wing leader.
Wing leader, Xaden has them switch it
Because
so that
she-
they're under
Yes.
him.
Yep.
I loved it because she looked at him, like, all smug.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't under him.
Yeah.
And then he switched it immediately and he was like, yeah.
Yeah. It's like so many, like, dynamics at play and it's just a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, you immediately get off the bat that Dane, she really likes Dane.
Yeah.
And that he is extremely protective, overprotective, and, like,
Yeah.
does not believe in her at all. At the same time, now knowing what that all entailed, all of the trials, that makes sense. But then once she's proven herself, then he needs to back off. And he doesn't. But still, it does make sense. But I felt like she was getting, like, very offended by everyone not believing in her.
Yeah.
Which I get to some extent, but she literally is, like, always in, like, the infirmary or whatever.
Yeah.
Or,
I think it was a thing where she was trying so hard to just give it a good shot that she was like, somebody please be, like, a little bit encouraging to me.
absolutely. And I think, yeah, she definitely didn't feel like she had a choice at all.
Yeah.
Because she really didn't. I know that at one point he was like, you could, like, he got the leader, I think, of the healer, or of the scribes to agree to, like, smuggle her in.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, what was it that he's like, we'll get you in and she won't know, your mom won't know, and then you'll graduate and you will be officially a scribe, so she can't do anything about it. But this was, like, way later once she had, like, gotten stronger, proven herself more. I was like, why wouldn't we do this at the beginning? Because she could have done that. And I wonder if she would have. I don't know. She seemed
I don't
kinda
think
stubborn.
so.
Yeah.
Because she never listened to them.
She
Like, she
didn't.
was like, no,
Yeah.
this is, like, my fate.
Yeah. But yeah, so she has her little squad. But it wasn't little. It was a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
I was confused about, like, the logistics of...
How many people were
Yeah.
in
Didn't they
each-
have,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
at least, like, 9 people in it? Maybe
Maybe.
more.
Could you look that up, right? Or it's in that book. You can, like, pick that one up.
The
Yes.
squad has 18 people.
Oh, okay. That's, like, the smallest group that it can be.
Looks like.
Yeah, and then you have, in each squad, you have your squad leader and then your executive officer. And then
Yeah.
above them is the wing leader and their executive officer.
Okay.
It's a lot of
yeah,
people.
A lot of people.
But, okay, you have your wing leader, but then you have your claw section, your flame. Is that a part of all of them?
Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
is, yeah. I think. Yes, right? Maybe not. No, I
No.
remember being tail section and flame section. I remember that
you?
being in the book.
Let me go
It
to
was
fourth phase.
brief.
Okay, so if we want to look at the military
Oh.
hierarchy.
Let's get into it.
Okay, in the wider... I cannot even speak. in
I-
the wider quadrant. Okay, you have first wing, second wing, third wing, fourth wing.
Yes.
And then you have claw, flame, and tail sections.
Yes.
So each wing has their own claw, flame, and tail. And then you have, under each of those, first, second, and third squads.
Holy shit, that's too many people.
So, this is people's math, in a single wing, you would have around 150 people. Your wing leader. the
And that's
section
who she was
leaders.
just around the whole time then.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they did start out with 180 people or
Yeah.
something.
And they said they were getting it down to. Didn't they say like 20% would make it through or something crazy?
It
Yeah.
was like, and everyone
Yeah.
was so excited about this.
But she said that they were excited. Like, there was waves of excitement, but then, like, waves of, like, knowing that they're probably all going to die. It talked about that in the beginning of the book. Like, when they all got there, they were all excited to hear where they were going.
Oh.
But there was, she said, like, even when they got their dorms, like, there was excitement, but there was, like, we're probably going to die. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, especially, what was the one time, I don't know if, I think it would have been right near the beginning when they all were taken out to, like, the courtyard and they saw the dragons for the first time. And they were like, they're so cool, right? And Xaden's like, you're on top of the world, right? Like, you're like, I'm hot shit, basically.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you're not. And then a bunch of people got burned alive by the dragons because they were running away because they were scared. Which I was like, they talk so much about how dragons, like, will just kill you immediately. Mm-hmm. I was shocked people were just running away.
Yeah.
Like,
why would you run away from a dragon who's, like, 18 times your size? Who can just literally open their mouth and...
Well, also, you signed up to be in the rider. Unless you were, like, a rebel's child. But, like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Side note about these dragons and the relationship.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, everyone is terrified of these dragons.
Yes.
I would be too.
I'd shit myself.
Can we jump ahead to threshing?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay. When they're, like, walking... and they're, like,
Yes.
having to be so careful about what they say.
That was
what
crazy.
They do. I'm like, okay, if this is how we have to act around the dragons, like, I would be terrified to bond. Mm-hmm. But then once she bonds, they're, like, the most sarcastic pair.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I feel like
they just choose and then they have to be close.
But they say they will not, like, you shouldn't mess with another rider's dragon.
Right.
Like, don't even talk to them. Don't look at them.
Yeah.
It's still the same. Like, they could still just incinerate anybody else. Yeah. And they will. But not their bonded person or whatever.
But, like, the mind of these dragons, because obviously you're, like, hearing...
You can hear their thoughts.
Yeah.
Once. Yeah.
I felt like the banter back and forth immediately was already, like, so sarcastic.
Right off the bat.
And I'm
awesome.
like, I'd be afraid to say anything. Because, like...
That's a good point. Like, being Violet.
Yeah.
Afraid to, like, be sarcastic back.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That is a good point.
I think she just truly had no F's to give about anything.
At that point.
Because she thought she was dying anyway, you know, the whole time.
Yeah.
When you said threshing, just to explain, like, they literally had to walk through, like, a valley or, like, big land in a single file line past these dragons just to, like, get a feel. Let the dragons get a feel for them.
Yeah, the dragons, it was called something, but it was, like, so intense. And they would walk through and they could see the scorch marks from when previous dragons had killed a bunch of other kids. What I was shocked at was how they were blatantly talking.
Yes.
I know.
It was like,
that's what they were saying to be so careful about. And I'm like, shut up.
Like the one kid that got scorched.
Yes.
That is your own fault.
The one that was like, I don't know, should we go forward? Should we go backward?
Yeah.
He couldn't make up his own mind.
And then that Luca girl was so bitchy to everyone she got what was coming to her.
Yeah.
But, like, that they didn't scorch Teenan was crazy. Mm-hmm. Which, he was the one that was, like, making fun of the Feathertail. And he said a bunch of shit. And I was surprised that they didn't scorch him.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. That was crazy to me. That was not... Yeah. They weren't as scared as they should have been.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, like, okay, during it, they had tons of challenges. They would get paired up with different cadets to, like, fight. Mm-hmm. People killed people during this.
Yes!
Like, it was not just practice. It was like, yeah, you're fighting to the death here. Violet, obviously very weak, figured out. She took on doing, like, breakfast duty. Mm-hmm. And she would poison her opponents because she knew she couldn't beat them physically. So she would, like, do things to, like, hinder them just a little bit so that she could, like, knock them out, or they would, like, get deathly ill or, like, not be able to see or whatever it was.
Awesome. And she found out who she was fighting based on the Book of Brennan, which her sister, is it Mira? Mm-hmm. She snuck in to Violet's room or whatever, and she found it, and she said, this is what Brennan did for me. And again, Brennan is her brother who has died, and And he was like, I'll show you how to find who you're fighting because it's already decided. And so she was able to plot like how she would take out that person, which I thought was awesome. Yeah. And so he was a big part of it. I liked at the beginning of each chapter, they had either a rule, a quote, or like from the book of Brennan. And it was like
An excerpt.
yes, I really liked that a lot.
Yeah, I did too.
That was cool. But yeah, so her brother, who hasn't seen in a couple, like 5 years, is basically helping her, like in the past tense, or whatever. Does that make sense? Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's just gaining knives left and right, even though she's actually not fighting anyone.
Yeah. And she's trying to stay away from Xaden, but she goes out in the middle of the night and overhears him talking to, and you're not allowed to be out in like groups of 3 or more or whatever, and he's out there with people. She hears them talking and she's like, oh, like he doesn't see me, it's fine. But he does, because he is like a shadow
Wielder.
Shadow wielder, so like he can see everything in the dark. And she thinks like, oh, he's gonna kill me, but he doesn't. And they have this like little game where he's like, yeah, I might kill you later.
Yeah.
And at first you think he's serious, that he's like, yeah, I'll just do it later, it's fine. But like they're growing like some tension.
I felt like he never was gonna kill her because of
Only
the way
during the
that
first day.
The first day for sure.
Yeah.
When he's like, why would I do that when the parapet will do it for me?
Yeah.
Whatever it's
Yeah.
called. And yeah, I love Xaden so much.
Yeah.
That's all I was gonna say. What did I send to you guys? I sent some fan art and I said I would literally let him do anything.
Yeah.
It's all on the table.
It's all on the table.
Oh, yeah. But she talks about how she has all these conflicting like feelings about him. Conflicting feelings. Can't talk. Conflicting feelings about him. She's like, he's so hot. Oh my gosh. But he's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then all of that changes when she bonds with Taryn.
Which is the biggest, most powerful dragon.
Okay, I loved this because, earlier when they were learning about the dragons in class, the Jack guy, which we didn't really talk that much about him, but he has this vendetta against Violet. He wants to kill her, and he's been very vocal about wanting to kill her this whole time. And he is just a huge asshole. And he was like, so what about the black dragon? Like, is there any black dragons? And he's like, there is one, but he's not willing to bond this year or whatever. And he kept pushing about it, and I was like, at that moment I was like, I bet that's going to be her dragon, just because he's like the biggest dragon. But then when they were going in front of the dragons for whatever that was, then we saw the feather tail. I was like, oh, that'll be her dragon because it's like the littlest one.
Yeah. I thought that too.
No, both.
I'll take 2 dragons, please.
And the way it happened,
top tier.
and then that's when Xaden came in too.
Yeah, so Jack and his little gang were gonna go kill the Feathertail, which, again,
Like, what did they think was going to happen?
Well, I was so he's a psychopath. Clearly, he's a psychopath because he kept talking about weeding out like the weakest. He just wanted to kill people. He just likes killing people, I feel like. But like the fact that they would take it upon themselves to go try to kill a dragon feels like, is that not against the rules? Like,
And they knew it was.
Yeah.
it was against the rules.
Yes, they talked about it because they were like, we know, but like she's a weak link. Like, we need to like get rid of her.
They were taking it upon themselves, but
But they would have
It was
been
against the
they
rules.
would have been incinerated if they had gone through with it, right?
They're clearly crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. And so it was him, this kid named Oren, who there's always been already an issue with her and him. I don't know. He was one of her victims of like a poisoning.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then Teenan, who is in her squad, who is always just a dick. And they were going to go kill Andarna, or the golden dragon, and she goes and protects the dragon. And she's like not going to fly away. But she protects them. She just hurls all those knives at them. That was amazing.
And even Xaden is there and almost steps in even though he is not allowed.
Yes.
She sees him take a step towards
Yes. And then wolf comes in. Should we do a bunch of noises?
and then Taryn comes in and
her. Yeah.
That was my dragon noise. It wasn't a
It
good
was
one.
good.
No. Again, I was going to say, if you didn't see we were doing big dragon wings, you obviously didn't see because we don't have a video. So Megan and I were doing big dragon wings.
with the noise.
Yeah.
And then Jack runs away like a little weenie.
Like a little
Yeah.
bitch. He ran away before I kept hearing Tarn. That's how they said it in the thing.
How did you say it?
Taryn. Whatever.
I listened to a different...
Tarn.
I listened to the graphic audio. It doesn't matter. He ran away after she just threw a knife at his shoulder. That's when he ran away.
Right, before
I-
he even saw Taryn, right?
Yes.
Weenie.
What a weenie. And then he incinerated Teenan.
Yeah.
So that was
he got what
awesome.
he deserved.
Good.
And
good for
Oren
him.
was just like,
He was like, you should kill him. And she's like, I'm not going to do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. And he said, get on here.
So then Xaden and Violet's relationship has to drastically change.
It does. Why is that?
It just has to.
Well,
No.
because okay.
Taryn and Xaden's dragon that he's bonded to, Sigale.
It did say that. Yeah. I
So
was so
Sigale-
disappointed. Because
What?
Google said scale, and I was like, that's a sick dragon name.
Scale.
Like a dragon scale.
But it has a G.
Sigale.
Yeah, but it's all weird pronunciations because it's like the Gaelic pronunciation. So I was like, oh, cool. Scale.
Sigale.
Anyway, Sigale and Taryn are bonded. So that means Xaden and Violet are technically like
They're
in a whole
linked.
big bonded family.
Yeah.
Because they can't be away from each other.
The dragons can't be away from each other for more than like 3 days or something.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah. It was awesome. Well, he can't know this
Oh.
Why?
because he
gonna
said he's
read
going to
it.
read it.
You are?
Yeah, he is.
I think he has headphones in. I don't think he could hear.
And
It was,
then Endarna.
but it was so
is also a
badass
part
when
of
she
this.
flew in there on his back. Also, to be noted, she fell off his back and he caught her and put her back
Yes.
on. Meanwhile, other people are falling off and they're just crashing to the ground.
Yeah.
And the dragon's saying bye. And that was so epic when she flew in there on his back because he's the biggest dragon they've seen in like forever. Other than the big generals one,
Yeah.
dragon, he's the next biggest. And then she goes up to tell them his name, and then she's like, Anandarna.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? So she's bonded to 2 dragons? Are you kidding me? It's so cool. It's so fucking cool.
And not everyone, but they thought Endarna was Sigale and Taryn's love child.
yes. Yes. He's like, you've been hiding this from me? Yeah, so obviously this is like causing a huge uproar. The humans are all trying to be like, is this allowed? Which I thought was crazy. So I'm like, what are you gonna do?
And they're very clear that the dragons are in charge of like
Yes.
anything related to the dragons.
Yes.
So for them
As
to
it should be.
question that
yes.
was just
Crazy.
kind of weird.
It was very weird.
So then Taryn's like, we're going to go meet with the council and we'll be back.
yes, so then it was like, if they decide, the dragons, the Empyrean. That's the Empyrean.
Yeah.
Yes. The dragon royalty, who knows? I feel like, well, I'm hopeful that we'll get to see the veil in another book, and I'm not going to look and see if that happens. But, like, I'm excited to maybe hear more about that, like the dragon politics. Whoever thought I would want to hear about dragon politics? But I do. And her mom is a total bitch, as always. Just, like, doesn't care about her and is like, I don't know.
Yeah. And Xaden moves from like saying like, oh, I'll kill you later to like actively helping her.
Yes.
He helps build her like a saddle
Oh my
for her
gosh.
dragon.
Oh my gosh.
He saves her life when they break into her room to try and kill
That was
her.
crazy.
Yeah.
That was
has
crazy.
A dagger made just for her.
Yes.
And there's a secret that Andarna can stop time,
Oh my
but
gosh.
she's not allowed to know. And meanwhile, Violet has to keep all of these secrets of everything going on. Xaden meeting with people, Andarna's power, all a secret from Dane, who can read her mind.
If he touches her temple, or so we thought.
Yes.
Because that's what he says in the beginning.
Yes.
If you touch your temple. But then you mentioned, Hope, the other night that I recognize how many times he touches her cheek.
Yeah.
But so he's clearly just.
But if you're doing that,
And
you're touching
Xaden-
her
That's
temple.
true.
But Xaden says that at the end of the
Like,
book
did he
when
touch
they
your
when they find
face?
out, he says, "Did he touch your face?"
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. But literally almost every time he greets her, he's touching her face.
Or she's hurt or anything, he always touches her face.
Yeah. Also,
she's
he
like-
kisses her after threshing.
Yes.
He kisses her.
But he was like, but we can't be together.
The next day, yeah, he's like, we can't be together. And she was like, that's everything I've ever wanted, and I didn't feel anything.
Yeah. And Xaden calls him out on it because he's like, dude, he's never going to break the rules for you. He's not going to be with you. And Dane's like,
Yes.
yeah, you're right.
He said he would not have saved you.
Yeah.
And
He'd let her die.
And she knew that Xaden took a step and he would have saved her. I was like, and the fact that Dane was like, you're right, I wouldn't have. I was like, you admitted that out loud? You admitted that out loud? Okay. Oh my gosh. But there's just tension the whole time between, I don't even know. Like, it's not a love triangle. I've heard some people call this a love triangle.
No.
No.
I would not
Violet
consider
had
this a
no
love-
interest in Dane.
No. Not at all.
None.
He was just annoying. Now he's just like pestering her. And we all clearly know Xaden is trying to protect Violet at all costs. It's a weird, different train. Sometimes they have different whistles. Okay, I had this question. So later in the book, we do find out that, which is a fun jump scare, Xaden can talk to her in her mind.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I love
So, okay, can he read her thoughts?
if she has it open to him.
Like that door, remember?
Yes.
She talked
Yeah.
about the doors in her
So-
mind.
From the point of threshing on, he should have been able to read her thoughts. Is that not right?
No, because she had a channel. She
Didn't have it closed, though. She didn't even know it was there.
But she had to work at it to open it to talk to him.
So it could have been closed.
I don't think it's like he can hear her all the time. I think it's like a telephone between the two of them.
like
yeah.
What are you thinking? Oh my gosh, I don't know. This conductor has it out for us.
Yeah.
He just honked like 5 times at the last one.
here he comes.
Okay. The only reason I was thinking that is because there were multiple times where she's like, as if he could read my thoughts, he did it. As if he could read my thoughts, he did this.
I think it's a
Oh.
line of communication.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't think it's
Open.
thought reading. I think it's
Okay.
like,
'Cause
hey,
remember,
I'm sending you a
readers-
text via mind, you know?
That's probably right. Yeah, that's true. Also, at this point, was it before this? Oh no, it was after. Never mind. Nothing. But I will say that scene when they tried to kill her,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
And you thought it was going to happen. Like, you're like, how is she going to get out of this?
I
In
did
her
not
room.
think it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
You didn't think she was in danger of at
Yes.
least being, like, really hurt.
Yes, I didn't think she was gonna die. I was like, that would be insane. The main character
But you're
dies.
panicking and you're like,
Oh,
how
for
is
sure.
she going to get
okay,
herself
I
out
thought
of
you meant.
this?
I literally thought she was gonna die. And
Yeah, I thought they were going to kill
That's
the
what
main
you
character
said!
off. But you're like, how is she going to do this?
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. I thought she was maybe gonna jump out the window onto Terrence. What's
Yeah.
his name? How'd you say it?
Taryn.
Terrence back.
But they were too
He
far.
said too far. Yeah.
But you're also
He's
waiting
coming.
for her signet to like come
I
about
thought
this
yes.
whole time. So you're
And
like
I
waiting.
thought that was her signet that night, but it was
It is in a way, but then it's not.
yeah. So we found out Indarna is. So we know she's a feathertail. This part also confused me because when she found out, is that a hatchling? She's 2 years old or whatever. Is that technically a hatchling? Like, I feel like when she found out how old she was, it was like a really big deal.
Yeah.
Like, it was different from what everyone thought she was.
She's just not, like, fully developed.
And they all thought she was.
But
Yeah.
that's what confused me because I'm like,
Okay.
there's no way these professors are like, that's not even a full-grown dragon. Like nobody
Yeah.
questioned her.
How tiny she was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that she was a feathertail. Those are a type, though, right?
Yeah.
That's why. So, but also hatchlings are feathered. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay. So she gave her the power to stop time. And so she kind of saved herself because Orin was about to slice her throat open.
Yeah.
And she saw another, like a second year or third year Amber. She unlocked her door in the middle of the night. And also, this
Who's
is in the-
Dane's,
Well,
like,
she had been
bestie.
there.
well, he slept with her clearly. The first year, he's like, I knew her well.
Yeah.
You know, and it's also in the codex. You cannot kill someone in their sleep. That's like a big rule. You can kill them any other time, but you cannot kill them in their sleep.
Yeah.
They said, no problem, Bob. There were like 7 people trying to kill her, and she like, and then anyways, she stops time, gets away from him, and then Xaden comes in and literally he says, "You're all dead." And I said, and he killed them all.
With shadows.
With shadows, strangled them all, and then slit his throat. Amazing. What a man. What a man.
I loved how he stood up for her, though. Because he was like,
did.
"How did this happen?" And
Yes.
she was like, "Oh, I don't want to say it." And then she did.
Yeah.
And he literally did a public execution for Amber.
Amen.
Which caused a huge thing with her and Dane. Because he's like, no, he didn't believe her.
And he went to go grab her face.
Yes. And she
without
said,
her. She said, "Don't
touch
touch me."
Because she was protecting Xaden.
Anandara's secret.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Because they were like, you can't tell anybody because then
Yes.
they're going to try to go after all the hatchlings.
Right.
Yes.
Dude. And that's also when we find out that Xaden can hear Taryn's thoughts or whatever.
And then she can also hear Scale.
Scale, yes.
Scale.
I hate these names. I do hate them. Wow. This book was so amazing.
Yeah.
There's so much more that happened. I'm trying to
So
remember.
then, like, they're all at a party. And they get the alarms all sound. Her and Xaden are, like, having a good moment. Have sex.
A couple times.
a couple times.
And the alarms sound.
Oh, that was that same night?
Yeah. No.
No.
Yes, it is.
No. The first night was after
The party.
That was the second time. Because the first night was after the big war games. When she finally got her signet power. And she killed Jack with her lightning. Pow!
Wait, no.
That was the first one. And then they were like, can't happen again. And then it was...
The rebellion and the anti-rebellion.
Yes.
That was
banquet.
the...
Yes.
Like, because she went out on parapet that night.
To Xaden.
Shut up. I don't know how to fucking say it. To Xaden. Okay, wait. Okay, well, you can say yours first.
Go ahead.
No. It doesn't have to be in order.
Go ahead.
Okay. She got her signet power and it was lightning, which is like an insane thing. A lightning wielder.
Yeah.
That was so cool. And she finally freaking kills him. Liam almost dies.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about Liam. Dear God. But she stops time again to save Liam because he's about to fall all the way down to the ground. And then she absolutely rage kills Jack. It was amazing.
Not slow enough, though.
Not slow enough.
And she regretted it because she's like,
She was so
that's the
sad.
first time I killed somebody.
I know, which I
Which
feel
I'm
like
sure
we
it would be
might all be like
hard.
that, but also he had it coming.
But how did she think she'd get through
I really don't know.
a war college without killing somebody?
And one of them would have killed the other. That's how it would have ended.
Yes.
Like, her or Jack, one of them had to have won.
Amen. Oh my gosh. I was glad she did it. I was hoping she was going to be the one to do it, not anybody else. But
Yeah.
And then they have sex that night because she's like so flustered. And he's like, just take it out on me. Hey,
I know.
Yeah.
When he said that, I was like,
it's on. She said, I'm on chapter 30. And then it's, obviously earth shattering
Lots
in
of
multiple
chemistry.
ways because she's just lightning strikes are happening left and right. It's awesome.
this is so funny.
Oh my God. Okay. And then, I want to say, side note, while I do think that everyone should listen to the graphic audio because they have sound effects, full cast, and beautiful cinematic music, these sex scenes are just disturbing to listen to.
Oh.
Really?
And disturbing's not the right word. Unsettling or cringy.
Cringe.
Oh, no.
Like, that's not how kissing sounds. And they're like, ugh.
Oh,
While
no.
kissing. It sounds like they're having sex while kissing. So then the sex is insane. And you're just like, and it's not in a hot way.
Oh, no.
It's not
Is it the
listen.
same people who do Akatar?
Not the
Same group?
cast. I don't think.
Just like Company or whatever.
Company.
Because-
Yes.
Oh.
And I remember not liking it as much in that either, and I would even skip over it sometimes. For some reason, I felt like this one was way worse, but
no.
I just don't. Maybe I don't remember. So, yes, again, I do recommend it for the rest of the story because it's fun and all the sound effects, but not for those scenes. Not a fan. And you can't even understand what the person's saying because you can hear the moans in the background. And then they added they added a like hard rock song once they finally got it in.
No, that's disgusting.
It was crazy. I was like, what are
Did they
these
have
choices?
like thunder and lightning cracking in the background?
Which was cool. That was cool. But that's the only part of it that was cool.
Interesting.
And like the sounds of like
Is
the
this on
furniture
Hoopla?
moving and stuff. That was actually that makes sense. I don't want to hear the music or the very insane moaning and not in a good way. Anyways,
Is this on Hoopla?
it's on like wherever. But yes, it's free on there. Immediately ready to go. But it is great. Everything else is great about the book. Okay. And then the night of the party, she goes and finds him, which the party is a celebration of the day that his dad died, was executed. Like the day, like, what do they call it? I don't know.
Yeah. So it's like a really hard day for like him, Liam, all of the kids of the
Yeah.
rebellion.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they're just supposed to like party.
Go to a party to celebrate their parents being executed in front of them.
Yeah. So she goes out to the parapet, like gets him, risks her life. And it's like super hot up there too, because they're like having this battle. They come off and she's like, let me take care of you. And he's like, no. And she's like, nope, I'm taking care of you. And then she does. And they get interrupted by like all of the war alarms. And he's like, somebody better be dying.
Yes.
And they're like, no, I think somebody is.
Yeah.
And so they tell them like,
Everybody.
we're under siege, but then they figure out it's the
war games.
the war games. And so they all get paired up and like sent out to where they're going, and she's on Dane's team, and Xaden comes and he's like, she is coming with me.
Dane
And
absolutely has a
Liam.
cow and freaks out.
Yeah.
Which we know later why. That little bitch.
Yeah, we do.
But he's like, he's gonna get you killed.
Why, Dane?
Why, Dane? And then he says, I'll miss you, Violet.
Yeah.
What the fuck,
Because
dude?
he knows they're going there to get killed.
What a bitch. And would he have found that out at the party? Because he touched her face at the party.
Yes.
You're beautiful.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, you can go out right now.
Yeah.
So would he have gone to his daddy
Yeah.
and said, Daddy,
Yeah.
Xaden's in Aspen or whatever. What is it? Aspen? It's like Aspen with a TH. No. I'm pretty sure.
No, it's not.
What is
Aspen.
it called? With a TH. Athbin? With a B.
Was it like Athabine or something?
No.
That's how they said it.
Athbean.
Athbine.
They said Athbin.
Okay. Well.
In mine.
Aspen, but with the lisp.
Someone's got a lisp.
Athbean.
Yeah, they said Athbin. That's hilarious. That's so... I didn't even put that together when I heard it. But that's so funny. Yeah, well, they get there. First of all, they go... That's where the part... That's why you guys were like, oh my gosh. Because I was just at the part where they're at the pond.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like,
Just
they're
before-
at like some pond or
they're at some
something.
pond, you're
Yeah.
So that's where I was when we got together this past weekend. And then I got home and I started reading. And I was like, what the fuck? So they're off making out by a rock. And he's like... He puts her in darkness. And she's hearing noises. And he takes it away. And he's like, don't freak out. And there's a bunch of Griffin Riders. Which the whole time, Griffin Riders are like... We think they're the enemy.
The enemy. Right.
This whole time. And they're the ones that are trying to get over the border. And all this stuff. And...
They're warning Xaden of what's
the
coming.
Venom attack.
And-
And they don't even believe in it are real.
And the dragons are just fine with the griffins being there. And
Yes.
Violet in her head, she's like, wait, they're like conspiring, like they're getting along, they're helping each other. And then she like
Yes.
freaks out on Xaden.
She does. He doesn't really explain stuff then.
No, not until she sees the venom and like,
Yeah. Sorry.
no, I'm not
You were
good with
talking.
timelines. So
No, I forgot. This was one thing I did note. So she's pissed beyond belief, and she's mad at everyone. She's like, Liam, you're a bad friend. Xaden, fuck you. Even you, Taryn, you suck. You were lying to me.
yeah.
And he was like, we were trying to protect you, and it will never happen again.
Yeah.
And then she felt his guilt, because she could feel his emotions sometimes. And she felt his overwhelming guilt, which, like, broke her down a little bit. And then she said, and then I just stopped. What did she say? Like, and then I actually thought about it, and I really started to think about it. And she, like, went
Yeah.
through everything and, like, okay, this is actually true. This is happening. And these, like, they were, like, she's still hurt that it was hidden from her. But she was so, again, reasonable in the moment of being like, there's an actual...
I have to be okay with this because this is the truth.
This is exactly... And I feel like so many books, especially, like, fantasy books, people, like, take too long to come around to new ideas and stuff. Where it's like, this is life or death. We don't have time to, like, sit and coddle your feelings.
Yeah.
Like, move on. I really appreciated this writing because I feel like it's not in a lot of books.
But this wasn't allowed at Navarre, like, to think outside of, like, what they're telling you.
Yeah.
So I understand why she was mad at first.
Totally.
About it. Yeah.
Well, it goes against everything she's ever been taught.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, like, that Griffins are literally the bad guys.
Though her dad was teaching her stuff.
Yes. Oh, and he had that
fables.
note. He remembered the note. She remembered the note that she found in the binding of the book.
Yeah.
And which the Fables book, we find out, was a banned book.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because she tried to look it up later and she couldn't find it. Or earlier and she couldn't find it. And then he's basically like, I know you'll make the right decision when the time comes.
Yeah.
And like saying, I don't remember exactly. But yeah, he was leading her to this conclusion. Which makes me think he was killed. But I'm not going to say anything. Because he was in the middle of a project about something when he died. And I'm not going to talk. I'm not looking at faces.
I don't know anything. I really don't.
Okay, well, anyways. So then they get to the base. You were saying something.
Just that the Venom were
Terrifying and alive and
real, not a fable that she had grown up where everyone thought that it was just a fable.
Yes. Well, and they get to the base and there's no one there. It's a ghost town, and then they get a letter, which I was like, when did this letter come? I was kind of confused about the letter, but it was like, survive if you can.
Yeah.
From Captain
Atos.
Oh.
What a bitch. What
Colonel.
a little baby
Colonel,
back bitch.
Because he
Colonel.
ain't that
Yes.
up there.
And so then they see the Venom attacking this town, and then they see wyverns.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That
Which
is how they pronounce.
Okay. Because they said wyverns in
That's what I thought.
in Throne of Glass. They said wyverns.
Yeah.
Which I always thought it was wyverns. I like wyverns. That sounds better than wyverns. Yeah. So then they're like, basically, they were going to either leave or stay. And Zayden's like, I'm staying. You guys should all leave. And then they're like, no, we find out Zayden saved all of the children of the rebels because he took it upon himself to, like, I guess, get his back cut up. I don't know.
He had, like, a bunch of scars and, like, lashings.
Because
But he took responsibility for all of them.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that is a little...
That's very... That's... yeah.
close to home there.
Shit goes down.
Yeah.
Shit goes down.
And Liam.
Dude, I cried so hard with
Okay.
You did?
Yeah.
There are so many people who talk about that scene where Liam dies and they're like, wow, like, why did I feel so sad over, like, such a minuscule character? Okay, he's not a minuscule character.
I don't feel like that either.
No, I don't think he is.
I think that's so wrong. So many people say it.
Maybe because
I had this argument at work.
He just didn't come until later, but
No, but he
was
still is so meaningful to the story. He literally
He's her
protects
bodyguard
Violet
for,
the
like,
whole time.
Yes.
He's so important to Zayden. Like, he's not a minor character.
No.
And if he were, you wouldn't feel that sad.
I was devastated.
So I don't like that.
Well, I think also you felt like he was going to be fine because she had already saved him that one time. And it was another, like, they weren't falling necessarily. Well, the dragon and the wyvern were falling. But I was like, oh, he's not going to die. And then the dragon died. And I was like, what?
Which means he would die.
And it was like, you have, like, a couple minutes. And it was just sad to feel like, or to read about Zayden's reaction in her mind and, like the immense pain he was feeling and when he was trying to get over there. That was sad as shit.
And he said, I know, brother. And took him to the dragon.
Yes, because he was saying D or whatever the dragon's name was. I think D? Day?
It was Day.
Yeah. He had to get to the dragon.
That made me so sad.
And Violet could not lift him.
Yes.
To get him there, yeah.
Oh, violence.
Ugh.
Dude, that was so sad.
It was sad.
That was so sad. I hated that. I really liked him and I wanted to read more about him. And he was just telling her about his sister, who he was separated from 5 years ago when
he
this
was
whole
finally
thing
going to
happened.
get to see when she had to go to the
Dragon
Quadrant.
Academy or whatever.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude? So we're going to probably see her in the next book, I guess. But, ugh. That was brutal. But yeah, so she ends up killing everybody. With her lightning. It was...
Well, no, she figures it out. She doesn't just
Yes.
kill everybody. She figures out, like, the weakness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just because she's so smart. So
And she knows the history. Like, she knows all of the information.
She already knows more than what they know.
Yeah.
They
Yes,
already,
which this is like
she
the
just
best
found out.
education. She has like a whole book smarts behind her and this history, and then she has.
So
now
her
this
theory
new-
works. And
She
they
kills
all...
the venom, and then the wyverns die because
Yeah.
they're created. But she gets stabbed in the process with a poisoned.
And
something.
her blood turns black.
Yeah, I was like, uh-oh,
And-
is she turning into a venom? That's what
I know.
That's what
I thought she
was
was going to turn
happening.
into something.
Which, I mean, again, this is literally centered around her, so that would be
I
crazy.
know.
But still, I was like, what's going to happen? And she, like, loses connection with her dragon, with Xaden. She can't feel anyone. That was terrifying. And then I missed this the first time I read it through, but she says, what kind of poison would keep me, like, incapacitated physically and also magically? So I feel like the reason, like, why write that in there if it's not important? So I saw that.
And then...
Oh my god!
So they have to take her to a healer
Yes.
or a mender. And Xaden's like, I know who to take her to. So she wakes up.
He's been
And
by her
it's-
side for so long. Oh, but yes, sorry.
And it's Brennan, her brother.
Is alive. And he says, welcome to the rebellion. Yeah. Isn't that what he says?
Yep.
Revolution.
Revolution.
Yep.
Oh my god, chills. Full body chills. So he's alive, guys. That's crazy. Dude, this book was so good.
So blow your pants off.
1,000,000,000%.
Yeah.
Like, I ate this book up so fast. Wow.
I can't wait for you guys to read the next book, but I want to be with you as you're reading it.
Yeah.
Like, I want like a live update as you're reading it.
I want to be with you. Just
Yeah, I
want to.
I truly do want to watch you while you read it.
Oh my gosh.
It's
A wild ride.
wild.
A more wild ride than the first one.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to, like, if you listen back to this after you read the next book,
Yeah.
I think it'll be really interesting.
I bet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Dude, it was such a crazy book. It was so good. I would recommend this to, like, anyone.
Yes. And what Megan and I were talking about, because Megan started ACOTAR, not really,
yeah.
just
No,
like a
not
little
really.
bit.
The first chapter,
But like
first page.
this is such a good stepping stone into fantasy, I think, because it's like easy to understand, minus all the names. I think like if you're really wanting to like dabble in fantasy, this is a good place to start with.
Oh, 1,000,000,000%.
Yeah, but isn't ACOTAR not as good as this? Or no? Is ACOTAR like at the top of fantasy?
Well,
That
it
is
depends
very
on the
subjective.
person.
But you guys don't like ACOTAR. You like the next book.
When we say ACOTAR, we
Oh.
mean like the whole series, though.
Yeah.
Okay. But you guys don't like the first books.
I
But
liked it.
no.
I think I gave it 4 stars.
Yeah.
You said it was so slow and you just have to get through it.
I think I was trying to, like,
is-
to impress upon you that is not the series.
Yes.
The first book is not the series. The way it's written, it's good, and if you, like, get into it, you'll like it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of people that like it don't like it at all,
Yeah.
which I don't know why that's the case. Probably because it's kind of slow. Like, if you're used to this level of like stuff is happening every page, that one, it feels a lot more slow, and you don't know what's going on till the last, like, 20%
There's more
of the
world
book.
building.
Way well, there is more world building,
Yeah.
but then it's also just like she's kind of wandering around and you're like, what's going on? You just like are in mystery for like 80% of the book.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you're like, wait, oh.
And then shit goes
Yeah.
down. That was my favorite part of the book, the last like 20 pages.
20
no,
pages.
20%, not
Yeah.
20 pages. It's like the last 1 to 200 pages.
Yeah. But I really think this is a good stepping stone.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't read ACOTAR in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
This was so good. And I was like, I need to reread Mist and Fury because I have to solidify that being my top book.
Yeah.
This one was like so good to me.
Yeah.
But I think it'll probably, if I ever I will reread it. When I reread it, it builds so much.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'll still probably favor
Yeah.
that. And also when I say ACOTAR, I still really mean the first three. I don't even mean the second. The Frost and
See,
Stone.
I liked them.
I mean, I did too. I still rated them high. But
Yeah.
like that.
I think
It's
it's still part of the
perfect.
picture for me, though.
No,
Like,
me
it's like
too. But it's like perfect. And those are not.
Yeah.
That's how it's.
I'm interested for you guys to read the second book of the series.
So,
there's a
after
lot
you
of
read-
thoughts from, there's many different sides to it.
I've heard so. I'm scared. I don't know anything about it, but I've heard like it's
After you read
a
Iron
nervous
Flame,
ending.
were you like, oh wait, that was way better than Fourth Wing? Did you
Ooh,
like
good,
Iron Flame?
Good question.
Okay, I liked them. There's things I liked better in like the first book, like some things, but I feel like I liked them pretty equally.
Okay.
I know a lot of people who didn't like Iron Flame
Yeah.
equally. I know some people who liked it more. So I think it is
It's just going to
subjective.
depend.
It
I think it'll
the
help
stuff
that
that
Onyx
happens
Storm is coming
though
out.
is crazy. And then once you read it, you're gonna be so anxious for the next book.
Which is perfect because it's coming out
Yeah.
in like 3 weeks.
Yeah. So that'll be fun to talk about.
Honestly, I'm so happy I waited.
Yeah, because there's gonna be a lot of like brainstorming. I feel like
Oh,
in the
yeah.
next episode, there's gonna be a lot of brainstorming of
I
what
can't
happens in
wait.
Onyx Storm.
Oh boy. And
Yes.
then there's going to be 2 more after that.
But not for like,
It'll be like
2 more years.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Damn it.
It's fun.
Maybe she'll come out with the 4th one like at the end of this year too. Because this is January. Honestly, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm not sure.
I don't know her life or other authors' lives. Like Sarah J. Maas. She used
Yeah.
to crank out 2 books a year. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And then she's like, I'm gonna slow down because of my family. Like I have like she has young kids or something. Or
Like, what are you doing?
if that's your full-time job,
Yeah.
I'm like, you could be cranking these out.
But also, I feel like you want to like ride out the journey of it, like not release everything too soon, where people will get over stuff. Like if you ride it out, let people.
I guess
like,
I would think people would get it more over it if you have to wait too long.
Yeah, but
I
you
guess
get
it could
more
go
people to
either
read it.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like reading series that aren't complete. That stresses me out.
Yeah.
That stresses me out so much.
I think you'll be
I'm gonna be stressed.
you're gonna be stressed and pressed about needing to read Onyx
I
Storm.
am sure.
Well,
I will say, if she even gives Dane a second glance,
I'm afraid of anything you're gonna say that I'm gonna be like, oh.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Okay. I am terrified that if she cannot give him another chance at all, like not romantically, obviously we're done with that, but like if she even talks to him again, like as a friend at all, in a friendly manner at all, she's so fucking dumb.
I feel like it's going to be the opposite. I feel like she's going to come into a position where she's going to have to like kill him.
Oh, I hope so. He deserves it.
And it's
He's
gonna be-
such a rule follower. It's almost disgusting to me.
Mm-hmm.
His rule following disgusts me. It bothers me so
yeah,
much.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, to me it seems like she's like she's gonna be in with the biggest rebels, and I'm very interested to see if they go back, how that's gonna work, because they sent them to die, which they obviously didn't intend for Violet to go, but like, are they sending, I mean, obviously you can't answer these, but are they sending them to go die because they know that they're collaborating with the Griffins, or are they Griffins? Am I making that up?
They're Griffins.
Yeah.
Okay. Or is it like, hey, we know you like went somewhere weird. We don't know what you were doing, so we're going to kill you. Like, I don't, like, what was their reason for sending them? Is he going to be allowed back? I don't know. Like, these are
Did you guys
the
ever
things
watch
that...
this show?
Interesting pots.
Did you ever watch the show The Good Place or The Bad Place?
Yeah, The Good Place.
Where they thought they were in heaven,
Yes.
but they were actually in hell,
Yes.
and then they needed to get out.
Yes.
I feel like Navarre is actually the bad place.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
That's what I told you. I said I think they're all bad.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, we kind of...
And Xaden's figured it out, but he's stayed to, like, learn and pick out good...
Well, that's part of it. Like, he has his place there. He literally said, like, he owns it. Like, oh yeah, that was great to get his Xaden chapter at the end, by the way.
Oh, yeah. We didn't mention that.
He was the last chapter. That was really cool. But, like, why? He could just live there. But I guess because...
Live where?
Arisha? That's how they said in the audiobook. Don't come for me.
Oh, yeah. Where Brennan is?
He said he owns it or whatever. That's what it said at the end of the book. Or he's like, it's mine or something.
Yeah, because after it was burned down, he, like...
But he said it was burned down, they just rebuilt it.
Yeah.
I was kind of confused. I was like, so it didn't get burned down or it did?
I think Navarre
Well, he
thinks
said
that
stone doesn't burn down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, the castle didn't.
Yeah.
But, like...
But think about this, though. And this isn't, like, spoil anything. He feels responsibility. Why would he just leave them?
Well, and the reason he got it was, like, if any of them steps out of line, they will all be murdered.
Yeah.
And that was what that's the reminder on his back. So that's why. Okay. Yeah, duh. Never mind.
Yeah, I think General Sorengale is...
The only redeeming quality was that there was an excerpt of one of her quotes, and it said, "I do not believe." I mean, this is like the lowest bar that you could have. I don't believe that children should ever have to watch their parents be executed. And, like, I don't agree with this command that has gone down.
Yeah.
She did not agree with that. But they all made their kids watch. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I'm just saying, she did say that. So she's not maybe a complete monster. Again, the bar is below the floor.
Interesting.
But like that guy, General Melgren, he's crazy.
But I don't know. We get these glimpses of, like, her mom kind of being like,
Like what? Like she had a venom knife?
Like, there's...
Like that?
We need to get into her mind.
I know. I was like hoping that maybe, Onyx Storm, we can even go into the name. Okay, so Fourth Wing. That is the name of her wing. Mm-hmm. Iron Flame. Don't know what that means. Onyx Storm. Her mom's power is storms. Her power is lightning. Xaden's power is, shadows. Onyx is black. I don't know.
Do you remember that word being used at all in the book?
What? Onyx?
Onyx.
Yeah, I do.
No, do you?
Yeah.
I remember it, but I don't remember the context around it.
Do you want me to tell you? I mean, it's all through the book.
Is it Taryn's color?
No.
What
it's
is it?
The color of Xaden's eyes.
Oh, yeah.
She says it so many times.
Yes, she does. With gold flecks.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm scared about this.
That scares me! What is that?
Well, you don't know. You haven't read it.
And you said after we read that other, you read that other Rebecca Yaros book.
Yeah.
You said after reading this, because she kills off a child in this other book, and it's just a romance.
Yeah.
She kills off a child. What the fuck, Rebecca? But she said, and now that I know what she's capable of, I think our suspicions are confirmed, and the worst is happening.
Yeah.
And now I'm terrified, Hope.
Oh my
We'll
gosh.
definitely talk after the next book.
I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sleeping tonight.
Just
I'm going to
start
be reading Iron Flame. I got to clean tomorrow. I got to go to work.
Well, you can listen
Call
to
off.
It. No, listen
I can't.
to it.
Oh,
No.
my words.
Yeah. We'll talk after the next book.
Damn it.
I think.
I don't know. I'm sorry, though. If a main character is dead, I'm going to shoot myself.
Interesting.
As in, Violet is Aiden. That's what I mean by that. I'm not looking at you.
Interesting.
Also, I'm sorry. Her head tingles every time Xaden walks into a room. And also, they can talk to each other in their heads. Is that actually a dragon thing? Or are they mates? Is that even a thing in this book? Do you know what that is? I mean, you can kind of gather. You haven't read any other fantasy, really.
No. I don't think...
They're, like, partially mated because their dragons are.
Yeah.
It's not...
Because every time he walked into a room, if she didn't even see him walking in, she knew he was walking in. Because her head would tingle every time.
Yeah.
She said, I'd get the tingles on my head. What does that mean? And that was before the dragons came into the picture.
Man.
Okay, how about the time when his shadow just picked up her pencil for her? And he was
Tongue.
and he was across the room, not even looking at her, just in full conversation with someone else.
They did that a lot, where they
What?
would be talking to other people,
What?
but like also talking to each other.
I know. Okay.
Oh,
yes.
I loved those dialogues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they'd have full conversations with like Rhiannon and Imogene, and then they'd be talking to each other.
Yeah.
Amen, sister.
And every time he'd be like, "Stop looking at me like that. I can see you."
I love this book. I am terrified of reading the second, but I'm gonna get into it. We need to wrap this up so I can start reading.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
She's gonna kick us out.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
Well, I'm glad to be on this journey with
I
Yeah,
am
you.
so
you better get
happy
to
you're
reading,
reading
girlfriend.
this. When you said that to us, I was so excited.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even read it yet, and I was so
I know.
excited.
I was like, wait. Okay, so I was texting
oh, yeah.
Hope and Brooke, and I said, I'm on chapter 38 or something. Or no, I'm
20.
38%
Yeah.
through. And blah, blah, blah just happened.
What was it?
I said, she just bonded to 2 dragons. and Dane kissed her. And I immediately unsent it. Thank God for that feature. Because then I was like, wait, Brooke, have you even read this yet?
Yes.
And then Hope separately texted me and she goes, wait, what did you say?
That's awesome. I'm so glad you unsent it, and I appreciate
That
it.
completely would have ruined the book for you.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
and
have
I-
ruined the whole book.
Yeah, but you
You
were
were
very
pretty close to the
disappointed.
beginning at that point.
Yeah, I would have
though.
been.
You were in chapter like 3.
You would
I
have
was-
been pissed.
Oh, I would have, of course, been pissed, but it would have been okay. And I would have still loved you. But I'm glad that didn't get
I
spoiled for
know.
me. This book was so good. Everybody, buckle up because we're going into Iron Flame next week
Yeah, we are.
and Onyx Storm the week after. So make sure you have those pre-orders ready to roll.
yeah.
Because we're going to be number 1 on the scene.
Yeah, we are.
That's not the word. We're going to be first on the scene and bring the news to you live.
Yeah, we are.
Okay? And thank you for listening to the Bookish and Bubbly podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brooke.
I'm Hope.
I'm Megan. Are we doing it?
I don't know. And it's been a blast. See you next
See
Tuesday.
you next
See you next Tuesday.